Morning in case if you are across the pond, or perhaps it's actually very, very early morning if you are somewhere like in Australia. Do let me know where you're joining me from because I am joining you from my own home here in the UK from a beautiful and sunny conservatory. As you can tell, it's really sunny today. Today, actually, as you can see in the title, is exactly 13 years since I landed to this country. In this country, in Leeds Bradford Airport, this is what I remember happened. 26th of May 2009 was the day when I landed into the UK. And I must tell you that the journey was quite remarkable. And why do I even come live and why do I even share this story? Well, because there's some takeaways which I would like to share with you and something that actually I know will really transform your life if you just will listen to this video. And at the very end of this video, I will do a little reveal, something like a little secret, if you wish, because there was something that I was not revealing recently. It was a little secret, especially in the PSA Yorkshire community. So you'll find out what exactly is happening and what is that secret, okay? So first things first is when I was on the plane, I remember it was 26th of May 2009, and I'm on the plane sitting there with my 2.5-year-old boy. I just recently got divorced and I was age 24, right? And at that time, I just felt like, well, if I stay in Latvia, then most likely I'll be massively judged being a single mom at the age of 24. What do I do? And my dream was always to come to the UK because this country was always sort of like a fairy tale for me, right? I always thought that in England, everybody is just so polite and nice and everything is amazing and people are always nice to you, and they are, right? Of course, like everywhere else there are some interesting people, right? But majority, of course, they are. So because it was always my big dream to come to the UK, when I got divorced, I thought, well, let me do exactly that. Let me actually come all the way to the UK because if I do change my life, I'd rather change it massively, okay? But here's the thing. As I'm sitting on the plane and I'm on the way to UK to land in Leeds Bradford Airport, I look at my son and I think to myself, I must do my best. I must do my best to provide. I must do my best to put my son onto his feet and give them the best future I can, right? Little did I know that challenges such as not having any money, right? Seriously, I had something like £100 in my pocket, right? That's all what I saved, okay? So £100 in my pocket, that's like literally no money, okay? And no English, right? No English. And in addition to that, no family members who could help me with a little bit of childcare or anything else. Okay, so little did I know that actually it will be not as beautiful as I was imagining being in the UK. Little did I know that actually it will be very challenging and I'll face some interesting circumstances. Okay. However, when I look back now, and many people who heard the story, they keep telling me, Olga, that was so brave, that was so adventurous. And when I look back, I always say, you know what? Yes, it was adventurous, but realistically, it was stupid. Okay, this is what I keep thinking to myself. It was stupid. Olga, you don't move to a different country without any language, right? And no money, with a small child who can't even go to the nursery. And those who don't know how nursery, for example, works in the UK, that usually the fees for 5 days of your child being in a nursery are equivalent of minimum wage for 5 days. So basically, if you do find a job, you pay for the nursery, you are left with nothing, right? And as many of you know, accommodation in the UK, especially when you just come, is not that cheap, including everything else, right? So I must tell you, it was a really challenging, at the same time, a very interesting journey. But what did I learn? Well, first of all, I learned that, you know what? I'm in a new country and I can be anybody and anything I want. Right? That was my first thing. I realized, whoa, there's no history of who I am. Nobody knows me, right? So now I'm creating brand new myself. I can be anything I want, right? So I can go and I can start any job I want, right? Of course, I didn't do that because there was no English. Right? But you know what I learned back then? That actually, when you're creating brand new yourself, it will take some time and perseverance, but also you will have to do some compromises. And in order for me to create somebody like brand new myself, I knew I got to speak the language. As simple as that, okay? I got to speak the language. So what have I done? I completely refused to speak to anyone who would speak Russian or Latvian. Being from Latvia, I did speak two languages back then. Okay, now I'll be honest, I struggle with Latvian, okay? Because I just don't use it, right? Like any language. If you don't use it, you just forget. I understand, but I can't answer as quick as I could do before, right? So that was my promise to myself, stop using any other language than English. So I would do my best to think in English. Okay, I would get those free magazines and I would just read them from the from cover to cover. They'll be like on the bus stations and stuff like that, right? I would listen to people conversations. That's how bad it was. Okay, I would literally listen to people conversations so I could pick up some English. Okay, in addition to that, I remember when I got my first SIM card, it was with three. And I used to call the customer service because it was free. And I would just come up with all sorts of issues, right? Because I wanted to practice my English. So I would say, oh, I can't connect, or it doesn't call, I don't understand this, tell me about that. So I would just come up with some basic things, right? And when it comes to actually practicing my language. So for me it was just for the sake of practicing language. And the reason why I say that, right, because I want you to remember that whenever you're working on yourself, it takes time, right? And you will have your lows, and I had my lows, right? And you will have your doubts, and I had my doubts, right? And you will feel like, is it even worth it? And I thought the same. But now as I look back at all those 13 years, as I look at my life now, I'm so grateful because I've done that journey. Okay. And I know many people are right now in the very similar shoes right now. You probably are going through career change. Probably you are like myself, an immigrant in a different country and you're trying to establish yourself, right? Probably like myself, you walked away from your past and you want to create a brand new life and you struggle, right? So I just want to remind you, right? Have a bigger vision, have bigger vision what actually will drive you. Because in my case, that was my son. I had him and he was like my anchor, right? My anchor whom I would look and I would think, I'll do it, right? So there were some days when I would not be able even to, ooh, I'm getting emotional, right? But I would not be able to get out of the bed because they'll be so emotionally difficult, right? And yet I would say, hey, Olga, do it for your son, okay? And I would get up and I would do it, okay? So you got to have something bigger and higher than yourself. You got to have something that actually will drive you. And very often people ask me, Uncle, what was your inspiration? I always say, that was my son. It was him who actually just kept me going. Of course, I would never tell him that at that age because he was too small to understand it, right? But it was just a point for me when I was thinking to myself, well, I must give him everything I can, okay? So do your best, Olga. And if I would not have him, I don't know what would happen because I am very adventurous. And those people who know me, you know how adventurous I am, right? Very quick decision maker, right? Changing my mind and whatever else. So I don't know where I would be, but it was really remarkable to actually being constantly inspired by my son. So my question to you would be, what's your inspiration? Who is your inspiration? Who is that person that actually is there for you when you have the hardest time? Just by the look at them, you got to keep going, right? Who is that person? Ask yourself this question, right? And keep going, right? Just keep going. Another point which I wanted to raise, which is really, really important, is the fact that very often when we are at the lowest of our lowest life, we play small, right? Because we have to, right? Because there's no choice, because one reason or another, right? But we do play small, okay? So what's important to remember, whenever life is forcing you to play small, I'm actually inviting you to play bigger. Okay, I'm actually inviting you to tell yourself what is the vision for yourself. Okay, who do you want to be one day and playing from that vision. So, for example, in my case, there was always this big dream of traveling around the world and helping people. Psychology and human behavior was my passion since I was 13. At the age of 13, I read my very first book, and that was on behavior, right? That was on why do we do what we do, right? And that was the time when actually I started studying more. I got so curious that I just wanted to know everything. I literally just wanted to know everything, okay? It was like, tell me more, tell me more, tell me more, all right? So, my question to you is, right, what exactly vision do you hold for yourself? Okay, at that moment when I was learning about psychology, about human behavior, about all that stuff, I knew that the more I learn, I now just can spread the word and I can help people. So when I was in the UK and I knew that now I can start from the scratch completely and become anybody I wanted, I was like, this is it, right? This is it. I'll do that. All I have to do just to learn the language and to learn terminology, right? And I can start helping people. I can start helping people to take ownership of their own lives, right? So what's your bigger vision? What do you hold for yourself? What actually will be there to remind you that, hey, if you will be okay with what you have now, which we should be grateful for, and I share my gratitudes every day, and it's not about the material things, it's about the life itself, right? It's about experiences and emotions and people we have in our lives, which we should be grateful for, right? Plus, of course, material stuff, because come on, we are humans, okay? And we have this, which needs food and clothing and stuff like that, right? But what's that bigger thing, right? That would be exciting for you, that will be mind blowing for you, that actually will be challenging you, right? What is that big thing? Type below. I would love to hear what is that bigger thing for you, right? What exactly is just there for you to push you? Right? As I said, in my case, that was traveling the world so I can see the world whilst I'm actually helping other people to grow, to break through their limitations, to break through their challenges, right? To be a bigger person than they are right now. It's very easy to get caught up in little stuff when you go through challenges, right? But when you have that bigger vision, when you have that bigger picture in front of you, then you know that this is where you're going. And the trick is to act from that spot. Okay? To act from that spot. What I mean by that is living your life like you're already there, right? So even though I wouldn't speak the language yet, I would already think to myself, okay, how would that Olga who helps other people live her life, okay, what would she do? How she would dress up? What events she would go to, right? So there was no language yet to deliver stuff to people, but I was already sort of practicing that life. Okay, this is how I started going to seminars and workshops, because there was no way that Olga, who doesn't do that, could achieve where I am now, right? And this is how the progress started. Right? Of course, there's a very long story, and I'm not going to keep you busy with that. What happened in between and what exactly, the details. Of course, there's lots of things that happen in between, right? But I would like to tell you one thing. From a 24-year-old woman who was coming here to the UK with no English, with no money, and a 2.5-year-old boy, right, who was just recently divorced, and she theoretically did not have the future, right? And I'm saying theoretically because practice always shows different. There's always future for anyone, okay? Unless you choose not to have it, okay? So from that point of view, from that woman who actually was lost and she felt defeated and she felt like, oh, I don't know where I'm going, to become who I am, it was transformational journey, right? Being happily married, traveling together with my husband. We both create impact. We both do it differently in our own ways, but we create impact to other people's lives, right? To have a 16-year-old independent, great, fantastic boy. I could not wish for any better child, honestly. Some parents are complaining about their teenagers. You know what? My boy is the best. Okay, this is what I can say, right? To actually being known globally, to work with clients globally, right? To also run Professional Speaking Association, Yorkshire region, to be the regional president of that. It's a huge thing. It really is. If somebody would tell me that this exactly where you will be 13 years later, living in a beautiful, gorgeous home, you know, going for walks, enjoying my own life, not being in that mode of like, oh my God, I need to survive now. I would never believe it, right? But that's exactly what's possible when we step up for ourselves. That's exactly what's possible and available for us when we take ownership of our lives. And you know what? Freedom was always one of my biggest values. Right? Freedom. Being free, not being, constrained by societal stigma, not being told what to do, literally deciding for myself who I am and where I'm going. That was my biggest value. And that's exactly what I'm so happy about having now. The freedom which I experience is just absolutely uncomparable to anything else. So my question to you is, what is your life looking like in the future? What do you see for yourself in the future? Who would you be? I know I mentioned to you already as a first thing, have somebody that actually will inspire you, somebody who actually will push you, have something like a purpose that actually will be there for you, right? To really carry you through the hardest time. And I already mentioned the vision of your life, right? The vision of who you are in the future, because that will be your other, almost like the second level inspiration, right? To really pull you up the minute you drop down. Okay? But you also got to remember, what would be that mind blowing thing, right? What would be that mind blowing thing that would happen? And you would think to yourself, oh my God, did that really happen? And I'll tell you this, when you think about that mind blowing thing, then your dark days will become lighter. That will become white. They'll become beautiful, because all you have to do is just to keep going. When you think about those days, just visualize those days, right? Live within those days. Think about every single minute of those days, okay? Because those days are on the way. They really are. And I don't care what you do right now. I don't care who you are right now, because I know you have the chance for better life. I know, I can give you guarantee, you have better and brighter future. You have the opportunity to have best relationships of your life, right? I didn't know I can have relationships I have now, right? But of course I couldn't have them before, because I had to do my own deep work on myself, just like my husband had to do deep work on himself. Okay, I didn't know I can have such a beautiful career which I have now, helping so many people around the globe. I didn't know I'll be creating such a huge impact, not only on these people, but also on those people who they are impacting, right? How many coaches and speakers I helped, right? And now they are creating impact, right? So what happened? I created the domino effect. And I can guarantee you are the one who right now is creating that domino effect. Okay, you are the force for the change, but you got to start changing yourself first. Okay, so no matter where you are right now, I can guarantee you can have better situation. Okay, as I said earlier, better relationships, better career. You can have better home, you can have better financial situation, you can have better health. Everything can be better if you choose to. All right. This is what you have to remember. You got to choose. You got to choose to have better life for yourself. Because only when you step up for yourself, and only when you choose to have better life for yourself, then you will start taking bigger actions. Why? Because you will shift your vision of yourself. Okay, and that's the reason why so many people keep playing small, right? Because they keep telling themselves, well, this is the life, I have no choice, right? Excuse me, you have so much potential. You don't even know how much potential you have. But guess what? I can guarantee you one thing: you will never reach your potential if you keep playing small. It will never happen. You will never reach your full potential if you keep playing small. Okay, so for you, in order to become better, bigger person, you got to play big. And playing big means being brave. And being brave means asking for more, right? But from a space of being you as a bigger person, right? And here's the thing, this Saturday at the PSA Yorkshire, at my own beloved region where I am a regional speaker, I actually will be doing a talk on how to stop playing small. It will be a lot more condensed than this conversation. This conversation is not scripted, it's not prepared, it's just me sharing from my heart. Okay, so I promise you, it will be a lot more fun than today. Okay, but this Saturday, I actually will help our people at the PSA Yorkshire, everybody who will come along to PSA Yorkshire, it will be on Zoom, right? And guess what? This is remarkable. And this is just unbelievable how everything got aligned. Actually, on Saturday, I will be delivering this talk from my home country. And this makes me emotional, right? I will be at my home country in Latvia delivering the talk to PSA Yorkshire people and anybody else who will come along on how to stop playing small. I will be in that bedroom where I grew up when I will be doing that. Thank God we have Zoom. Okay? It's just, I think it will be such a remarkable thing to go all the way back where the journey started to deliver that talk. So I'm inviting you, if you want to discover, first of all, why you are playing small, right? What exactly is holding you back? And I can tell you in advance, that's something we will discover more. But in advance, I'll tell you, it's your small self-image, right? So first thing, we will discover what exactly self-image, that small self-image is holding you back. And we will destroy that. I promise you, on the day, you will not only discover that, but you'll be able to destroy that. It will be gone. Okay. Second thing, what we'll discover is what limitations and barriers are holding you back from fulfilling your full potential. Okay. So you will discover your limitations and your barriers. And guess what? We will destroy them as well. Okay. So we will destroy your small self image. We will destroy your limitations and limiting barriers. Okay. And the third thing, we will create brand new yourself. Okay. We will create brand new yourself. I'll take you through series of exercise on the day. I'll take you through quite interesting moments which will be very eye-opening to you to discover stuff about yourself, and you will leave that meeting knowing that you actually are a brand new person. It will be mega powerful. How do I know it? Because I've done it so many times. Okay, I delivered this talk multiple times and I have done it so many times to know that you will love it. So I'm inviting you to join us at the PSA Yorkshire so you can really transform your life. And by the way, even better news are that I'm not the only one speaker. We have also Phil Engler, who actually will be delivering the talk on how to speak professionally to professionals. And this is aimed to those people who actually would like to get more work in the corporate world. Okay, you got to come along and you got to hear him talk because he is a remarkable speaker. We also will have Diana Grant, who will be talking about saying yes to better life, saying yes to better you, saying yes to better everything around you. Okay, really remarkable. That'll be her showcase, and we'll be supporting her with that talk. So this is the little secret which I wanted to share. Those who were following PSA Yorkshire Post, you probably will see that there was an agenda, Phil and Diana, and there was a secret speaker. So now secret is not secret anymore. It will be myself who will be speaking at the PSA Yorkshire from my home country. Not only that, from the flat where I grew up, from the bedroom where I grew up. This is very, very sentimental and very, very meaningful. And I'm really looking forward to that. So that's exactly what's going to happen. So join us at the PSA Yorkshire. I will share the link below this video in a short while. And before I go, I would like just to say this thing. When you go through the darkest and hardest moments, think about that little inner child inside of you who deserves the best. And that little child inside of you sometimes needs just to be encouraged, loved, and taken care of. So all you got to do is just to tell that little child inside of you who is scared, who right now feels completely lost and insecure. I'm inviting you to tell that little inner child, I love you and you're safe with me. I will make sure we will get through this together. I know it sounds really bizarre, but when you will have next dark moment, you will remember this. And trust me, this will make difference to your life. Well, I hope this video will bring some value to your life, hopefully. If you will apply what I was mentioning, first of all, have somebody that will inspire you, right? It could be your child, it could be your partner, it could be your parent, it could be your role model. It could be as simple as just role model from somebody who you know in the outside world, okay? Have a bigger vision, right, for your life. Have a bigger purpose. Because when you have bigger purpose, it's easier to go through life. And third, have a bigger picture of yourself, right? Think bigger and grander and humongous about yourself. Because when you do, then you will do big actions, then you will do big steps. If you don't, you will play small. And I know, and I guarantee you, you can play big. You have so much potential you're not even aware of. So I'm inviting you to stop scratching your potential and finally fulfill that. Thank you so much for watching. All the best. Here it is to my 13 years in the UK. I hope you enjoyed this video. And here it is to your many, many years of success and prosperity and well-being.